Okay, so before we took a break, we were talking about how education could have more reform and it could include the appropriate use of computer technology. Can you expand on that, please?
Yes. Two things would be necessary here, and I know this is a debate that's going on in several school districts across the country. Two things would be necessary. First, we would need to get back to the fundamentals. And the fundamentals, when I went to elementary and high school, were the three R's of education: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Um, Having a grasp of this is not a good idea. It's absolutely essential that kids have a good grasp of these three areas, particularly the arithmetic, namely mathematics. And unfortunately, this is one area where they are lacking. In order to understand computer science, you have to have a good grasp of mathematics. That's where it begins. See, computer science is an applied science, and so what we do is we pull from areas of mathematics, chemistry, physics, biochemistry, and so on, but it starts with a fundamental understanding of the principles of mathematics. So that's where the reform needs to take place if we're going to build on that to produce technologically aware students. Then once the next step would be to build on top of that, and that's where you would pull in other areas of like social science, social studies, and so on. But it starts with the fundamental, getting the fundamentals right,
Mm-hmm.
which is your reading, your writing, and your arithmetic. What we have done in the West is we have focused so much on all the other areas, which I sometimes refer to as fluff areas, while neglecting the fundamentals. We need to get back to the fundamentals, build on that, and then add the other areas around the fundamentals.
Yeah, and with this and in this day and age, computer science, we should teach that in schools because it's such a major part of life.
And it shouldn't just be a nice idea, it should be part of the core. Just like the English core, the mathematics core, it should be part of the
Yeah.
core, so students would be required to have that education, have that included as part of their education.
Um, how has technology affected daily life today as opposed to when you grew up in the 70s?
Well, like I said earlier, it has affected pretty much every aspect of life. Aviation, I mentioned, automobile design, manufacturing in different areas, uh, just about every aspect of life has been affected by computer technology. So there's no running away from it. We might as well embrace it, understand it, and learn how to use it responsibly.
Okay, thank you. And all in all, do you think that computer technology has benefited society or hindered it? Well, you kind of already answered that, but
Well, let me ask you, would you like me to confiscate your cell phone?
no.
Would you like me to return the refrigerator and the stove, the electric stove at home, and resort to the good old days of wood, wood fire?
No.
Well, there you have the answer. It has affected pretty much every aspect, almost every aspect of life, and we're not retreating. We're going forward. And so what we have to do is embrace it, understand it, and try to know how to use it.
Okay, so the last question here. Where do you believe that computer technology is taking us as a society in the future?
It's taking us to a better future. What we can expect is to see continued improvement in the various areas. For instance, when I first studied computer science, I mentioned that they were only found in colleges and businesses. And we had something called a floppy disk. I don't have one here to show you, but they were very large and they were floppy, which is why they were referred to as floppy disk. Then we moved from that to a much smaller disk, which could fit easily in the palm of my hand. We still call them floppies, even though they weren't flopping like before. Then we moved to a USB drive,
Yeah.
and that's where we are now. We have CDs as well, and so on. But we can continue to, we can expect to see a continued refinement of the technologies that we have. We'll be able to pack a lot more information on a small, a very small integrated circuit. We have the iPads, iPods. We can expect to see refinement in those areas. Very soon, also, we'll be able to have computer devices that are automatically connected to the World Wide Web. Already we've begun to see that refinement. It's going to be commonplace. So very soon, when we want to get on the web, we don't have to even worry about the intricacies of connection. They will come packaged with most of the gadgets that we use and take for granted.
So not just cell phone, but maybe a watch has
Pretty
like
much,
a.
pretty much, yes. You know, a watch. You know, timepieces that you may use. That's the way of the future, and I expect to see improvement even in radio technology as well. For instance, on my television, I can rewind something,
Yeah.
and replay it. We still can't do that on the radio, but why not?
Yeah,
we should be able
I
to
think-
do it. We can't do it as yet. I haven't seen any radios that allow you to rewind something you just heard and replay it several times. We should be able to do that as well. And if you think about other areas, there's still a lot of room for growth and refinement, and that's what I expect to see in the future.
Okay. Thanks, Dad, for helping me out here.
No problem.
Uh,
Hope your teacher likes it.
Okay, you can go back to your work. Thank you.